backstage action at Parliament House seems like that would be a lot of personalities.
Oh yeah, there are, and whenever you mix alcohol with it, there are, yeah.
Any delicious, delightful stories of shade, fighting, and drama?
We have cussed each other out individually multiple times throughout, I know, for the last 3 years that I was there. I was like, how long is it going to take before I go off on one of these bitches? And I think Darcel might have been the first one that I snapped back at. Because I've been my own boss for as long as I can remember. And you know, sometimes when people have authority or whatever and they come at you a certain way, you come back a certain way because you're like, okay, we're going to be like that? Okay, well, here's my bark, you know? So it's like that. But at the end of the day, we respect each other, and she gets me and I get her. And it was just kind of like, you remember that day when I went off, you know?
Right.
It was fun. So, yeah, I think the last person I went off on was Chantel DeMarco, who's the current reigning Miss Continental.
Really?
Yeah. But there was alcohol involved and everything. Not with me.
And you snatched her crown off her head.
I was like, I was like, bitch. And Giselle was live on fucking Facebook when I'm sitting here like cussing this girl out. And she's like, bitch, I've never had this many people. She's so shady for letting it keep going. But it was funny. We all laughed at it, whatever.
In the end, everyone had a good laugh. Now, after being in such a trans-heavy cast in a drag show, I bet you have some thoughts on that RuPaul controversy from a couple months back, where he said he didn't think he could see trans queens on Drag Race. And we know he's sort of adapted his statement, but I would love to know what you thought about that.
I think that's just thinking out loud. Sometimes you think like what your audience is and stuff like that, but I think it's time that we've grown up on RuPaul's Drag Race and we start branching out more, because the girls are starting to look the same and saying the same things. We need to showcase that trans women are very important in the drag scene. Like was where trans women worked because they couldn't get hired in other places. So, and that was a safe place for all of us to be. Lesbians, gay guys, trans people. That's where we went. And we didn't see people like ourselves as celebrities and stars. So we became those stars in those nightclubs, and we entertained our people, and we made them feel like, you know, like they could be that. And I still feel like that. And I feel like when I'm on the show, I feel proud that I am in a drag show with drag queens and trans guys and our drag kings or whatever. I think it's great to have a multitude of talent and saying we all are in drag, really.
Yeah.
But we all can't entertain.
That's true.
So it's like, and but I think it's great. I think trans people are some of the best drag I've ever seen has come from trans people.
Yeah.
Like some of the best looks or whatever, and stunts and everything. Like Erica Andrews. Like,
oh yeah.
We need, like, I don't
tell the children that might not know about Miss Erica Andrews.
You don't know Erica Andrews. You need to look her up. Roxy Andrews is her daughter. Axel Andrews. That the whole anyone I think for the most part is Andrews probably came from Erica, and if they're flawless.
Yeah.
Because she didn't just let anybody in the house. Yeah. Candis, Cayne. Sasha Colby, Mimi Marks.
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to stop pretending like trans drag doesn't exist. I'm not mad at what Ru said. Sometimes, you know, she made me think like, am I doing drag? But then I realized, yeah, I am. I am doing drag. Because most drag queens, when they impersonate Lady Gaga, they're impersonating a cis woman in her drag.
Right.
So
exactly.
What's the fucking difference?
Exactly.
You know, so I this is my drag right now. I'm inspired by Dida Von Teese.
Yes.
Minus the tattoo.
She would approve of the tattoos
Okay.
regardless. Her drag is strong.
I
honey.
love. She doesn't know it, but she's my new drag mother right now.
All right, well, we all let her know for
Please
sure.
let her know.
Now, you
yeah.
took a little bit of heat recently when you weighed in on that Scarlett Johansson playing a trans man controversy.
Yeah.
Now, I think we have the tweet here.
Oh yeah.
Now, a lot of people that you got a lot of backlash from this. You want to just explain what you were talking about in this tweet?
Let me read it again, because. So we're gonna be mad at cis female actress Scarlett Johansson for being cast as a trans man. If you are and you are trans, don't complain about not getting cisgendered roles in. An eye for an eye leaves you both blind. So I wrote that on Twitter, but it wouldn't let me write the rest. And then I say at the bottom, on behalf of the trans community who isn't easily offended, I would like to apologize for the way that people have come at you. Not all trans people are the same. I think the message of the story should be far more important than the messenger. And from what I've seen in the past, you are a great actress, and I believe you could have done a wonderful job. With that being said, I would like to see more trans actors and actresses in movies. I do think that it's great that someone wants to tell a story about a trans person. We should be thankful for that first and foremost.
Now, what did you think of the reaction you got from that tweet? Because that seems like you're just speaking your mind.
Yeah.
And you're speaking from experience. But people came at you hardcore, called you crazy like Tyra Sanchez.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your response to the backlash?
I think anybody who got upset from what I wrote doesn't think for themselves, doesn't allow themselves to think in other ways and to be more optimistic. I feel like now, I would have never heard of Dante Gill had Scarlett Johansson not accept this role. But now that everyone complained and made her feel like she can't be an actress and act, because that's what you're supposed to do, is convince somebody that you are this. It's not literal. Like, you don't want to be typecasted all the time. If she's the best one for the part, let her play it. I want to see if she will gain the weight and have a butch voice or whatever. More people would see it because of her being a cis female. They want to see this girl, like, portray this boy. Like Hilary Swank, she won a fucking Oscar, right?
Yeah.
For her role as Brandon Tina in Boys Don't Cry. And she did amazing. This is my take on it. Don't show up as a trans person for a cisgender role. Just be a person auditioning for that part and leave being trans out of it. If there's a role for a mother, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna audition as a mother, not as a trans woman playing a mother. You know, like, all that's semantics. Like, I don't want someone to give me an award because I'm trans. I want to get an award because I was the best one at the job. And there's been trans people in movies and film and music that they were stealth. They just went in and they lived their life, and no one found out about it until like decades or years later.
Right.
They were like, oh wow, that used to be a man, or that used to be a woman, or whatever, you know? And it's like, I like that because they got the job because they were good, you know? But I feel like trans people, we should be more visible. And I think it's happening.
Well, hopefully we'll create ourselves more gay and trans stars, so we don't have to worry about Hollywood stars playing those parts.
Exactly.
We'll play them ourselves, and we'll be bankable as hell.
I'm playing the part already.
Yes, you are, here on Hey Qween.
Here I am.
Well, let's go back and take a little trip in the time machine and see how you got here to the Hey Qween studio.
Oh, shit.
Whoa! Sonique, we're traveling through time. Oh, there it is. Wow. We are here. We're in Albany. We're in Albany, Georgia.
Oh my God.
Now, you had a little bit of a difficult, lonely childhood. Is that the case?
Ish. I played with myself a lot and not.
So does Lady Red, don't you, Lady Red? You play with yourself all the time.
I have the best relationship with myself of anyone.
So like, I would always have to like play with stuff because I would get in trouble with I would have to go somewhere by myself and play with like dolls and stuff like that because I'd either get picked on or told I not supposed to play with them.
Right.
So that's why I spent a lot of time by myself. But like my friends, all my friends knew like when we would play Power Rangers or whatever, like I was gonna be the yellow one. Like I was always a girl with everything we did.
Right.
And I remember I used to tell people on the playground, I was like, I'm a girl. And they were like, what? And I'm gonna tell you a really embarrassing story. Oh my God. I was like 4 years old and I was like at the playground behind my house. And so that kind of situation happened where I was telling them that I was a girl. And I was sitting with my legs up and I guess I didn't have underwear on.
Oh my gosh.
And my junk was like hanging out of my shorts. And I'm like, I'm a girl. And they're like, what is that? I ran home crying, beating the door, Mom, let me in. It was crazy, but now I just laugh about it.
Right.
It's funny.
Well, because look at you now, sweetie.
Well, it's funny. Life is funny. All of it's funny. It's annoying, but it's funny. I mean, it is.
Yeah. Now, your parents sent you to military school to toughen up, girl.
Yeah.
Girl, what? Tell me about that.
The toughest thing you can ever be.
Yes, sweetie. She's tough like a diamond.
Don't try it.
What was that like? And how old were you when that happened?
I was 17. My mom pulled me out of school. But yeah, Mom sent me there because she heard it was a good school. And I was like, are they going to cut my hair? And she's like, no, they're not going to cut your hair. I'm like, Mom, if they cut my hair, I'm not going. And she's like, no, they're not going to cut your hair. I didn't say nothing to her the whole ride there. I was over it. And I get off, and she was like telling me how great this place was supposed to be and everything. And I get there, we're on this bus, and everybody seemed really cool. And as soon as we parked at that the army post, those men turned into like Satan times 10. Like they were yelling and screaming at us, "Get off the fucking bus!" You know,
Wow.
like yelling at us crazy. I was in this camp basically with all these boys that was like their last resort before they go to like prison or jail or whatever. I'm like, I didn't do nothing but play Barbies. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's the wrong kind of toughening
Okay.
up.
Oh, and they shaved my fucking head.
Of course.
It made me pay for it. So we're like lined up, and I'm like, what is happening here? And they're like, you have to get $20 ready. And I'm like, for what? And I give them $20, and then we walk in this other room, and they say, sit down. I'm like, what? I was gonna be like, can you just take off the sides? Honey, he took that clipper and went straight down the middle.
Oh, girl.
It did toughen me up.
It did toughen you up.
Because I had to take up for myself, and I had gotten picked on by my brother and stuff when I was younger, and I was used to that, but I wasn't used to being by myself with a whole bunch of strangers, like,
right.
Picking on me or whatever. But they eventually realized that you can't mess with her. Like, she's crazy. Like, not crazy like that, but like, I will fight you. I will fight you. If you try to fight me, I'm gonna fight you.
Hello, children. To see part 3 of this interview, click here. To see more Hey Qween fabulousness, click here. And don't forget to subscribe, bitch! Hey! Hey! Hey!